This is the Absolute 50 Fly. It's not a brand new model, but it's revised for 2020, so it's based on the existing 50 Fly, but they've tweaked the exterior styling. There are some new options in terms of decor on the inside, and we haven't actually got this model on the channel, so while I'm here in Italy I thought I'd film it for you. Let's get on board and have a closer look. Now, price wise, this boat starts from €760,000 excluding VAT. There's only one engine option. That's Volvo Penta IPS 650, so it's pod drives, 480 horsepower per side. Now you'll have to excuse me because there's some building work going on in the marina and it's a little bit noisy, so I'm sorry about that. As you can see, this boat hasn't got the option of the hydraulic passerelle. It's got the manual one, that is an option, as is a hydraulic bathing platform. Again, not an option that this boat has, but what this boat does have is this optional bar area back here on the transom. So you lift this up and you have a sink and a grill, and what I like is the fact that it's quite easy to then clean the grill because it connects directly to the sink, so you're not going to get anything overflowing onto the deck. That means that you can cook out here on the back of the boat. And then through this door you have access to the optional crew cabin. Now this can just be fitted out as storage, but you can have it as a cabin if you want. There's some stuff in here at the moment unfortunately, but you can get the idea. That's the berth there, and it's not a separate bathroom, it's more of a wet room, but you have got a sink and a toilet underneath that flap, and of course you've got your shower head here that you can mount up here for when you take a shower. Close that. Now moving on into the cockpit. It's got a good overhang from the Flybridge here, so it's nice and protected. And what you do have that you don't see on many Flybridges this size is a split sunpad and seating area back here. So you've got this nice dinette, although there isn't a huge amount of space to put chairs the other side of this, but you do have a bit of sunbathing space back here, and you also have a blind that comes down here to offer a bit of shade and also a bit of privacy if you're moored stern too. It's nice to see that down here, as well as the cleats up here in the cockpit, which have got winches so you can tighten lines through these fair leads. You also have cleats down here so you can easily connect spring lines when you're moored in the med, and a handhold to help you up on the way through. And this is also where the deck shower is. Underneath the seating here you have some storage. This is also where the life raft is located, and you have good access up to both side decks, down to the port side, at the staircase up to the Flybridge we'll have a look at in a minute, and again a couple of steps and you're up onto the side decks, and you've got good railings all the way along the foredeck there. Again, we'll have a look up there later on, but for now we'll carry on into the saloon. It's being an Absolute, it has an aft galley layout. They really like that layout, and it works well on this size of the boat because it puts the galley in this corner here, and it means it's got a nice connection out to the cockpit. Have a good deep sink here, tap pops up for when you're washing up, 2-burner induction hob, and then this side you have your fridge freezer. It's behind this door here, which is connected, this nice sturdy latch, and then you have not quite American size fridge freezer, but good enough size anyway for the boat. As we move forward there's a step up here, quite a big step, so that's just something to be careful of, and then you're into the dinette area. Now this table of course will expand. You just need to pop out the supports and it flips out like that, just to make that dining area a little bit bigger. It's also on an adjustable leg, so you can raise that and lower it to coffee table height if you wish. It also converts to a berth if you need it to. And then you have a little couple sofa here to starboard. Another fridge down here to supplement the one aft opposite the galley. And what Absolute do really well is their helm stations. Really ergonomically sound. You've got fully adjustable wheel here, throttle and joystick are nice and close. Twin helm bench, quite a narrow twin, but it is a twin all the same. Again, it's adjustable so you can get it nice and close to the helm if you want, and I like that you can stand to drive this. Because this bolsters, you can stand in front of the helm, or you can sit if you're on a longer journey. Most of your information is contained in these Garmin MFDs. You can see you've got the engine instrumentation showing here. You've also got a Volvo screen as well, which will show you engine information and fuel flow, chart plotter, but you could also show the radar through here if you wanted. This boat may be IPS, nothing use a joystick, but it's also got the bow thruster option. That's something I like to see. Good as IPS is, there are some occasions where you just want that extra nudge from the bow thruster, so it's good to see that as an option on this boat. Another good feature is the side door. Not only for ventilation on a hot day like this, but it means the person at the helm has really easy access out onto the side deck, and they can communicate with crew really easily as well. Now, we head downstairs to the accommodation. What's nice about this area is how open it is to the windscreen. Nice deep treads on these steps and a good leather clad banister here, so you can grip onto that as you come up and down. But right above you is the windscreen, so natural light comes down into this area, really makes it feel more open. And we'll start aft in the master cabin. A couple of steps down here, but it goes down a long way so that you've got pretty good headroom in here. Just the foot of the bed here. I'm 6 foot tall, just over, and I can stand up no problem. It does decrease a little bit as you go around the bed because there's a step, but I can still just about walk around here and get into bed from either side. Nice to see this little sofa here on this side of the cabin, and then opposite you have some storage. Big hull windows, of course, par for the course these days, but the effect is great, and you have opening ports as well, which means you can get some natural ventilation if you don't want to have to use the air conditioning, which is an option. There's a little bureau here, some lights, somewhere to stow jewellery, do makeup, etc. And then again, another clever touch is the use of sliding doors. So this door ordinarily would gobble up quite a lot of space either in the hallway or inside the bathroom itself, but it slides into the bulkhead, which means you've got a bit more room for the sink, the toilet, bit of storage. Always good to see a big opening port in here for some natural ventilation. And then you have a separate shower cubicle with full standing headroom. Now the guest accommodation is really nicely proportioned on this boat. We'll start with the twin guest cabin. This is over on the starboard side. Twin beds, they don't slide together, but they're a good size. And then you have 2 opening ports in this cabin, which is nice. Headroom is perfectly good here in the lobby, really good. It does decrease a little bit as you get down towards the head of the bed, but you could still sit up in bed and read if you wanted to. And good to see that this cabin has got its own big hanging locker that auto illuminates when you open the door. This cabin isn't en suite, but just across the hallway is the day heads, so it's quite an easy passage over there. This doesn't have a sliding door actually, this has a proper door out into the lobby, but again this is a really good size. Also has the separate shower cubicle. And then if we close this door, you can see how this bathroom is en suite to the VIP cabin. So again, this is a sliding door, uses less room, and then you're into the VIP, which of course has its own entrance door as well from the hallway, but sliding door, again, saves you space. Really nice touch. And this is a great cabin. Almost as big windows as in the master cabin, not quite, but still has portholes for ventilation, headroom, very good. Again, plenty of space in here. The floor space is nice and flat, not too many obstacles. You have to step up to get around the bed, but again that's all pretty easy to do. And this is all fiddled, so you could leave jewellery here and you don't have to worry that it's going to slide off onto the floor. It'll stop there, and you've got repeater switches for the lighting, plug sockets here. This boat is actually going to America, hence why you have this style of socket. Lighting's really nice. You've got these spotlights, and you've got underlighting underneath there and also underneath the berth, so you get a nice warm glow in the evening. Storage wise, another big hanging locker. Again, it auto illuminates, and you have got an escape hatch here as well. If you take the cushions off the foredeck, you get some natural light here, but the cushions are on at the moment. You can just open that and you get some natural light coming down onto the bed. So really well proportioned lower deck. I'm sure you'll agree that every cabin gets a decent amount of space and no one should feel too hard done by. Now we'll head back up into the saloon. I'm going to go back towards the building work, I'm afraid, so sorry about the noise. So now we'll head for the Flybridge, which is teak-laid on this boat. That's an option. You can just have fiberglass if you want. Big wrap of seating aft here, and that is served by this wet bar. It's an option to have a grill here. This boat doesn't have it, it's just got the sink, and on this side it has the fridge. And on this side it has an ice maker. Oh, and the Vetta 48 coming in on our starboard side. And the Vetta version of this boat, effectively. Anyway, on with this one. Some seating here, and then these sun pads actually have flip-up backrests, so you can put those up. It's a little bit more comfortable to lie there, read a book, or your Kindle, or your iPad. Bit of storage under here, actually a good spot to chuck the covers. I put the console covers and the seat covers in there, they can just stow away in there nicely. And then you've just got sunbathing space here, free of the shelter of the hardtop, so you can catch some rays on a day like this. The hardtop again is an option, nicely integrated. I like that it's got strip lighting inside it. It hasn't got a sunroof, but it has got this manual hatch here, so you can just twist that, slide it back, and you get a little bit of ventilation through this hatch. Not quite as good as a sunroof, but a reasonable compromise. And then of course you have a helm station up here, and again it's really ergonomically sound. I like how the throttles come out towards you on this little plinth here. Same with the joystick. You've got an adjustable steering wheel. Both of these seats swivel, they both bolster, and they also slide fore and aft, so you can get yourself nice and close to the helm station. And the helm station is really clean. Again, everything is presented digitally. You've got your Volvo Penta screen down there. You've got chart plotter here that can show engine information. That can also show your chart, obviously, and your radar, VHF. And then this is the chain counter. So when you put the anchor chain out, you know how much chain you've got in the water. Now we'll go forward on the port side deck. Note that under the deck here you have the diesel filler, got one of these each side, and see how it's sunk and also has a drain, so if you do overflow the tank, it does go into the bilges and it doesn't go all over the deck. It's quite a nice touch. Got deck lighting here, blue deck lighting that runs all the way up the side of the boat. Quite easy to move down this boat. Side decks are a decent width. Got midships cleat here, and you can see how this dips down here to line up with the seating in the saloon, so you have better views out over the water. And here we are at the foredeck, and it's nice that as well as the sun pad, you've got this little sofa area as well, and you have this walkway, so you can walk from deck to deck without having to walk around the front of the sun pad. You've got a slot here to pop your mobile phone in, odds and ends, cup holders. You've got speakers up here as well, and you've also got a head unit up here so that you can control the music in this zone from up here without having to go back to the cockpit. Sunbathing space, obviously very important. And then we have the anchor and windlass. Inside the anchor locker, nice deep locker there. There you can see the anchor chain all piled up. This is the control for the windlass. You've also got space in there for the fenders. You can chuck a few fenders in there nice and quickly, and you see a deck wash down here, so you can connect a hose here. And really, when you're moored stern to in the med, these ground lines can get very, very dirty as they just lie on the seabed, and when you pull them in, they can make this area absolutely filthy. So you can connect a hose to this and then wash this area clean after you've tied off the lines. Engine room access on this boat is via this hatch in the cockpit. Up it goes, and then there's a ladder down into the engine room itself, which we do now. Quite useful that the upright for the Flybridge steps also acts as something to hold on to as you lower yourself into the engine room. It's quite fortuitous. And then here we are inside the engine room. Here you can see the IPS 650s. Top speed for this boat around 30 knots, cruising speed between 22 and 25 knots. Pod drives down there, pretty good access to them. Not quite as good on this side because you have the exhaust in the way, but you can get around the side of the engine. You can get the service points as well. You can check the oil. You've got the raw water strainer here as well, so you can check that pretty easily. So your daily service items are easy to get at on either engine. Fuel tanks here, twin fuel tanks, one on the other side too. And if you can see those labels there, that tells you what that fluid is, so you can really quickly see exactly what it is that pipe work is for. Nice little bit of detail there from Absolute. Same here, you can see what this piping is running to at a glance. Headroom, crouching, it's not terrible. You can obviously stand up in the hatch, but once you're in, you're sort of stooped over, but it's not too bad, and there's a good amount of artificial light in the corners, and you can just see how much soundproofing there is down here as well. And that is that. Thank you very much for watching my tour of the Absolute 50 Fly. I do hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel, and please do click the bell icon as well so you get a notification every time we upload a new video. I'll see you next time.